it's hard for us when we say always believe the victim, and then when something like that happens, it's like it makes you want to be like, well, should we believe all of them? Or should, because you know, I feel like we should always wait until evidence comes out. The proof is in the evidence, the proof is in, you know, the receipts, because receipts can be faked, but hardcore evidence.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Wild Things Found Online. I am Vokal the Slug Cat, and we are back today with some more Tophia. I did want to start this video off as the whole format will be a little different than what I normally do. I do want to issue a trigger warning and preface this by saying that Tophia will be speaking about SA at length throughout this stream. From what I've listened to so far, didn't seem like there was anything explicit, but I did want to at least give you a fair warning that is going to be the central focus of what her stream is revolving around. Now, with this video, I feel like my tone is probably going to be pretty serious compared to what y'all are normally seeing. So, you know, if you're looking for a funny Tophia video or my usual jokes and quips, this is probably not going to be that video. I'll try to break the levity, I'm sure, at some point, just to try to lighten the tension, I should say. But yeah, I'm going to be focusing on analyzing and breaking down the things she says in this video. To make a long story short, I do not believe Tophia. I will go ahead and state that at the beginning of this video as well. So if you're not comfortable with this topic, you already know my thoughts without having to watch the rest of this video. So I had the displeasure of listening to this live stream. I had jumped into it about halfway through, and from what I had gathered, context-wise, I do not believe anything that Tophia is saying or claiming in this video. Something might have happened, but I believe she's manipulating the situation for sympathy, as always, so she can further be a victim. And then, of course, it is very convenient that this all comes out literally just a couple of days before her birthday. As I've stated, I think probably on one of the videos over the weekend, or maybe on Monday's video that I did, Tophia is going to find a way to grift for her birthday coming up. I wasn't sure how she was going to do it, but this appears to be the grift in and of itself here. All right. And now with that out of the way, so we're going to kick this off. I got a few things I want to cover. She did post 2 stories before the live stream that we'll be covering. And then she posted another story shortly after the live stream. I'm not sure if it was after the live stream or maybe the following morning, but I wanted to cover both of these first, just to give you some context into what we'll be hearing as we go along this live stream video, because I feel like it's important to highlight where her mind was at before she made this video, and then to see how, after people have reacted to it, how she is responding. Okay, so for the first story that she posted, this was probably a couple of hours before the live when she posted these 2. This reads, "Some people will never understand how much damage can come from feeling safe with someone who wasn't honest with you. But because trust is fragile, and once it's broken, it changes the way you see yourself, your memories, and the people you let close. I'm learning that healing isn't about pretending it didn't happen. It's about accepting that it did and choosing not to let it define the rest of my story." And then her following story post was the song "I Hate You" by SZA, which I think is very fitting. Now, the reason I wanted to highlight these 2 stories before we jump into the live stream was, I don't know if y'all weren't aware, but Tophiachu got arrested. I believe it was on the 2nd of this month. She was arrested on a warrant So I don't think as far as her arrest, it doesn't seem like it has anything to do specifically with Tophia. But I do think it's interesting that Tophia has been going live essentially nonstop, rapid fire, when she couldn't before for whatever reason, or she just wasn't. But now that Tophiachu has been locked up on this warrant, all of a sudden Tophia is going live every single night, which I think was interesting. Now, I'm just speculating. I wouldn't put it past Tophia to narc on Tophiachu, since the things didn't go her way as far as the relationship or their falling out, whatever the case might be. So I'm just putting that possible idea out there. That is something that may or may not have happened. Take it with a grain of salt. And now the next thing that I'm going to be showing you here, as I said, these two stories were before the live stream that we're about to cover. And then later that night or the following day, Tophia dropped this story in response to, I'm assuming, the criticism that she was receiving for the live stream on Thursday night. And this is what she has to say. And it's just pay attention to her body language as she is responding in this video, because I find it to be very interesting how she's responding as someone who just came out about their supposed essay.
So look at this beautiful orange sky that I took a picture of. Wonderful, beautiful sky. Anyways, let's address something, because people are weirdos. How are you so mad at the fact that I came out?
So I'm gonna stop it here, because what she's about to say is, how are you mad at the fact that I came out about being essayed? Look at her face. Look at her eyes. Does this seem like a person that just had a traumatic, life-altering experience after just recounting what happened the night before? I don't know, man. You be the judge.
And said I was essayed.
What is this face, Tophia? The body language is so weird when speaking about something so serious.
Someone had the nerve to tell me to stop talking about everything online and journal it. I wouldn't want someone to get essayed by somebody again or get hurt and harmed. Mind you, I'm not going to be a person to name drop, but I'm going to speak up about what happened to me.
Again. So what she just said there, okay? She doesn't want anyone else to get hurt or have to deal with a similar situation, right? That's what she just said. But she's not going to name drop and speak about the person in question that supposedly essayed her. These are two conflicting ideals. It makes no sense whatever. And that is going to be a major part of this breakdown as we go through the live stream after this. She is going about this in such a conflicting manner that I just don't believe it. And of course, I probably should have stated this earlier. This is coming from someone who has accused people of essay multiple times in the past and never has provided any evidence or has reported any of these supposed essays, with the latest of which being saying that someone, or I'll just say his name, saying that Jay, a TikTok creator that had never spoken to her directly on TikTok, that lives in a whole nother state, essayed her because supposedly he sent a catfish into her inbox to try and get nudes from her. This is the person we're dealing with. We're dealing with a pathological, compulsive liar.
And it is so wild, so weird, so crazy to me that you're telling me, you said, oh, hold on, scratch that. Don't talk about essay, journal it. and that's what you're mad about, you're weird. You're weird. Tomorrow is my birthday, and I'm not gonna let anyone ruin my birthday. I'm gonna enjoy it, because to sit here and tell me what I went through when you wasn't there is crazy. You don't even know the whole situation, but you want to tell me to stop saying something online. You know, now that I said that, I feel so relieved. I don't have to live with my emotions and my guilt and my stress and cry every day because of what happened to me, that I have to relive. Mind you, that I have to realize what happened to me. It's so crazy.
Again, with the smirking and smiling. This is the way that she is acting is so weird when you are talking about something as traumatizing and horrific as SA, but she is choosing to smirk. Apparently bringing up this situation it warrants a smile.
You know, but people love to stalk and watch me all the time online, and it's so crazy because that's weird behavior, considering the fact I got victim shamed and was told that it was just because I'm mad and bitter. That's why I'm saying that, which has nothing to do with that.
Because she is mad and bitter, and it has nothing to do with that. Keep that in mind as we go through the live stream video here in a few.
The way. And yeah, some of y'all are weirdos.
All right, y'all. So those are the highlights that I wanted to touch on before we jump into the actual live stream. I know it was a long intro. I do apologize, but I really felt like y'all needed some context around why I feel the way I feel, because this is a serious topic. I don't want to make light of the topic, but this is literally the woman who has made it her essentially life to just cry wolf. Okay, so again, these are my opinions. I'm just putting my opinion out there on this situation, as again, I do not believe anything that Tophia is saying. So with that out of the way, let's go ahead and jump into Thursday night's live stream.
Hello guys. No, my TikTok's not banned. Yes, today is a hot day. You sound sick. No, I'm not sick. Yes, well, it's not gonna be alive. No, I'm not feeling good. So, I wanted to say something because it's really been bothering me. And this isn't a easy way to say this. It's been bothering me, and if I don't talk about it, it's gonna bother me. I did talk to my therapist about it, but I don't know. No, I'm not dying. So I wrote it down so I can say this. And what I wrote down is I don't really know how to start this, so I'm gonna speak from my heart. I've been holding in a lot for a while, and I think it's gotten to a point where staying quiet about it has been hurting me more than saying it out loud. I'm not trying to attack anyone. I'm not trying to create drama. I just finally need to be honest about what I've been carrying.
Now, listen to the choice of words. She supposedly wrote this down. I wouldn't be surprised if this is like some chat GPT shit, but she's not trying to attack anybody. Okay? She's not trying to attack anybody. And mind you, she's going to now inform us that she was SA'd. It's just such a weird thing to say, like, are you, because I feel like she's implying she doesn't want to be seen as attacking the person in question, which is weird if you feel like you were victimized.
I went through something that included sexual assault, and I haven't really been able to talk about it, and I've just been trying to act like I'm okay and move on, but it doesn't really work like that, and it stays with you. I'm sorry, you guys. So it stays with you. And on top of that, I was really emotionally hurt and confused by someone I cared a lot about. I felt like I was being led on and that things changed in a way I didn't understand. I was left sitting with all of that on my own.
Okay, now she brings up essentially the whole situationship with Tophiachu in the very next lines. Okay, let's all keep track of what is being said here. So we went from SA. Now at this point in the live, because I listened back to the first half the following day to try to get more context because I knew this was going to be a hard video to make. At this point in the live, I'm thinking that these are two separate situations, but as we get further along, it starts to sound as if Tophia is saying Tophiachu assaulted her. So I wanted to also lay out that context ahead of time so y'all can listen for these context clues as we continue the video.
And trying to make sense of it. I'm not saying this to blame anyone or make anyone look bad. I'm just really speaking on how I felt for me.
Again, you just told the world that you were SA'd and you're worried about making people look bad and not blaming anybody. It's like, it's just mind-boggling. This doesn't make any sense, but go ahead.
Because I've been holding it in for so long. It's been heavy. I think sometimes people don't realize how much silence can hurt you when you are trying to protect someone else's image, but not your own feelings.
Trying to protect someone else's image, but not your feelings. Are y'all starting to see the dots that I was connecting between the alleged SA and the Tophiachu situationship that did not go in Tophia's favor, did not go the way she wanted? Do y'all see the connections that I'm picking up here? Stay with me now.
So I'm just letting myself say it now, not to hurt anyone, just to stop hurting myself from keeping it inside. I'm trying to heal. That's really what this is. I don't really need people to pick sides. I just need to finally say this out loud. So I really didn't know how to bring this to the internet without something happening.
You didn't need to bring this to the internet at all. But again, because Tophia is like, you know how the internet is going to react before you even do any of this stuff. So I don't know why you still do it. Maybe because you think that there's, of course, there are people that are not familiar with Tophia to the extent that we are, but it's just sickening. It really is.
It's been weighing on me. And yes, the stuff that I was sharing about sexual assault, yes, I was sexually assaulted. And I tried to process. I tried to tell myself, well, you cracked the joke. So maybe it's been weighing on me. And it's been heavy. I've been trying to keep it in when I was crying, when I was upset, when I was breaking down. I couldn't really say, and I can't really say much because I don't feel comfortable to say everything. But that is just something that I wrote down that I needed to get off my chest to say because I was holding it in, and it's not good to hold something in. I talked to people about it. I've spoke up, but it was like I kept coming online. I kept being sad, depressed. My mental health is not good, and I don't know how to process. And to tell the cops and not tell Instagram, I don't want to make the situation worse. Even me coming on here.
I don't want to make the situation worse. Now, the reason I paused it here is because Tophia has been, I guess, a big advocate of people getting harsher jail sentences because she posts stuff about SA a lot. And not just recently, like this is an ongoing thing, along with a lot of the other social and world issues that are happening around the world in society. This is a reoccurring theme, and it has been for months and months and months, if not years, on her stories. So the fact that she is being so candid and doesn't want to place blame because it'll make things worse is very telling, I feel like.
Saying that is probably going to make it worse. And nobody knows that I was struggling like that. And I already know the comments. I just know that people are going to say, oh, that didn't happen to you. They were already saying that. And I was just like, how do you speak up? How do you talk about it? And because that happened, I hate myself. I've been struggling to function because I was like, oh, you cracked the joke. Oh, it's like that thought of, oh, you wanted it. And you know what? Some people definition of sexual assault may be different, but
some people's definition of sexual assault may be different. So now, if this was anybody else, I could maybe reason and still believe. But with Tophia, the fact that she said this specifically makes me feel like whatever actually happened was probably so minor or so trivial that no one else would view it as SA. Because why would you even say that? Why, like, we all know what SA is and the different forms of it happening. So why did she feel the need to say that her definition might not align with other people's definition?
it's not different because it was not consented. And I just tried to be the bigger person. I just didn't want, like I said, I was trying to protect someone's image because
she wanted to be the bigger person and protect the person that assaulted her's image. And like, do y'all see the connections? Do y'all see how I'm linking this to Tophiachu? This whole thing is very weird. Why would you want to protect the person that assaulted you? It makes no sense unless we're talking about the situationship, because I guarantee if this was anybody else that allegedly, because again, I don't believe even whatever she's talking about, I don't believe that it's what she's trying to make it out to be. But if this was anyone else that did something to her, oh, she would be all over their ass and be ranting about how no one's helping her with it. So just keep listening, because it's like this whole situation, it just gets worse. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and say that now. It just gets worse as we go along.
I still try to be the bigger person, even though some nasty things were said. And it's hard because I'm a kind-hearted person and I don't want to say something rude, but there was something that no matter how and I've been crying all day. I have a headache. My health problems are getting worse. I'm struggling. My stress is horrible. And I'm trying not to stress out so much, but it's been a lot. I don't even get paid for this, so goodbye. Go somewhere. I'm not trying to get money from anyone.
Sure.
That is far from why I spoke up, so thank you. If I continue to keep holding my emotions in and harboring them, that is not good. I've already talked to people. I've already talked about this, and I needed to get this out there. I'm going through something. I am hurting, and it's not okay.
Keep in mind that she says that she has talked to people about this situation now as we continue.
I don't care what people think. I don't care, but for me, I'm going to speak up for myself. There was a lot of things that recently I went through that, and to be honest, just even sharing that information right now, that's all I was going to share. I'm not going to share anything else. I'm trying to be as kind, a nice person as I could be with all the nasty stuff that was said. For me, I just can't even imagine saying that to someone on top of everything else. And knowing that I actually went through that when I was younger. And to do that very thing, it's just, I had to be honest, I had to talk and I had to process. And when I thought back about that moment and having to process that and realize what happened, that was hard. And I couldn't tell anyone because what do you say? And I get it. I get what people are going to say, the whole police thing, but I'm just already struggling enough as it is to have to process that. It wasn't, it was that. And it's like, well, I'm trying not to say things without blaming or anything, but I don't know,
Again, she's trying to say things without blaming anyone. If you were SA'd, it's okay to place blame, Tophia. Like this is a big part of the reason why I don't believe what she's saying. I don't believe any SA occurred. Bro, this is like some origami shit, because this is like, as she goes on throughout this live, it's going to just further and further unfold. And I'm hoping that you guys will see, understand my perspective on this whole matter and why I think she's just a fucking liar.
it's been really processing. And, sharing that stuff, it was just like people was already like, no, that didn't happen to you. There's something happened to you recently though. And I just kept it to myself because that really affected me. And these are the things that people don't understand. When you say something and people already were victim shaming, and I struggled. Today was hard, and it's been a hard few weeks. I'm happy, and then I go back to that place, and I'm like, why did I allow this to happen to myself? And I start blaming myself. And it's hard when you feel like you have nobody. I talked to my mom, and it was hard to even have to explain something like that. It was hard when there's so much going on. And I told someone, I was like, it was weighing so much on me that I said, I wish God would have taken me instead. Because I don't know how to process any of this. I don't know how to deal with this or everything that I think about. And I didn't want to say anything online because I just kept it in, even though I was hurting and I was crying all the time. This is why I didn't want to go live in that time, because I was struggling to even process what was happening. And then when I did finally, I was like, well, maybe if I share this, maybe it might hint to something. And when people started victim shaming, that just said, oh, well, and then I tried to go and say, well, write down and be like, how's the best way about going about this without blowing it up and making it a bigger thing? How can I talk about how I'm feeling without attacking someone?
Why is she worried about attacking the supposed person that assaulted her? This doesn't make any sense.
How can I speak about this? Because it was only eating me from the inside out. And to be honest, my health hasn't been doing good. I've been stressing out, and that causes my constant headaches. And I'm trying not to freak out, but anytime something happens, I freak out. And I don't know, right now it hasn't been good. There were multiple situations that I had to deal with, and on top of that, just realizing that happened to me, and then finally being able to talk with my therapist about it, it was something that was hard. And it's hard to process. Oh, well, what led up to that? What led up to that is because you wanted that to happen, and trying to tell yourself that no, like that.
What led up to that is that you wanted it to happen. Again, I feel like this whole situation, I feel like, revolves around Tophiachu, which we know Tophia was she wanted a romantic relationship. She wanted to be with Tophiachu, obviously.
And it's so hard to not blame yourself or beat yourself up over something that I didn't even have time to process. It was just like the whole thing was quick. I didn't even have time to process. I was confused because of certain things. There was just so much going on, and I still don't even process the whole thing. I see it for what it is now, and I know why things happen, and it's a all around messed up situation that nobody really knows that I'm struggling with, because people could care less. And I get it. I get that people hates me. But even if I hated someone, no one should have to go through what I went through. And there's still some things I'm going through that I can't even really talk about till I have my own place. And I've been struggling to sleep. I get up and I cry. I have these dreams. And sometimes my brother's alive, and that triggers that. Sometimes I'm up till 1 o'clock in the morning and I'm freaking out. And I'm trying to calm myself down, and it's hard. So, well, nothing, I guess. I don't need money. I already have some stuff planned, so I have a cake being made and everything. I don't
Well,
even
that's
have
great.
Benadryl, and so my birthday is Saturday, but I have money, so I'm not asking for money. And I don't have a lot of money. So, well, I already have a cake made. I'm getting my own cake. And I'm gonna try to decorate my own cake, so... Oh, nice. I don't know, I did have some plans, but when I had to go get my cake, that's when it's happening, so I don't know. But it's not even about the money. It's like my birthday's coming up, and now I have to process that I was sexually assaulted. That's...
Tophia, why are you correlating these two things together? And again, like I said this from early this week. She's going to grift for her birthday in some form or fashion. This is the grift. She's trying to play around not asking for money, but it's just very convenient that now, of all times, right before your birthday, that's when you decide to shed light on this supposed situation. Interesting.
hard. How do you... And I could care less about the money. For me, I've been through so much trauma that I just desensitized myself to that. In the moment, it didn't seem as bad as it was. And the whole ride home, I was just processing because it was something else on top of that.
The whole ride home, she was just processing. Now, who does Tophia be riding around with on a regular basis?
Really confused me. And having to deal with my emotions, that's hard. And I could care less about money, guys. It's not about money. It was eating me
Sure.
inside. My emotions have not been good. I was doing so good, and my mental health was good, and then I just started slipping. And for 2 days, I just had to completely check out and be like, I need to sleep for 2 days. After I came from the hospital, they put me on liquids. They gave me medicine for my headache medication. Basically, they called me, and the cause is stress, and it's hard not to be stressed or worried or have anxiety if something happens. And I always had to watch my back. The whole thing with the truck, it wasn't just a truck incident. There were some things that had happened, and I had to take that seriously, even though I tell myself it could have just been a random incident, which yes, but at the same time, there was something, like I said, it was a dangerous situation at the time, and I couldn't talk about it. And the whole internet was just making things a joke. When you guys say things that are untrue,
Because most
you
of it
don't
is,
even know
but go
just what
on.
fuels things. And some stuff happened, and it was more than one thing, and I was trying to manage and process it, but that day, it was just too much, and I had a constant headache, and I couldn't deal. So I went to the hospital. They put an IV in me. They put me in fluids. They had to actually put an IV on my other arm because it wasn't putting fluid in the arm that they put the IV in, because they blew out my arm, I guess. So I don't know what they did, but what happened was that my arm swelled up. So they were like, well, it's not working, so we're going to have to do your other arm. And I was like, they're like, let's hope that we get this. They had a hard time struggling. They finally got it in. They put me on some liquids. I don't even know, some fluids. They gave me some headache medication. They told me anytime that I have headaches to take medication. But I practically have headaches almost every day. I wake up because at night it's so hard to sleep that when I wake up from a dream or something, it hurts. And I'm reminded of something, and then I'm trying to change my negative thinking from positive thinking, what I've been learning, but I just get so defeated and taken back with everything. It is so hard to see everything that is going on social media with ICE and with the not getting justice and the kids that are being hurt and harmed, and talking about how much kids and women are getting raped and sexually assaulted, and just having to hear all of that just triggered. And how I blamed myself, and I told myself that I was stupid, that I was blinded, that I let it happen because I really cared about the person so much that I was blinded. And
boom. And there it is. Because we know there's only one person that Tophia cares about, and it ain't her fucking mom. So this confirms for me that allegedly Tophiachu SA'd her. Which, knowing Tophia, this is crazy. And it's just very interesting that all of a sudden this is coming to light. She's choosing to speak about this now, when Tophiachu was arrested on a old warrant, I believe from a year prior, 2 days before this live stream. Very interesting. Did Tophia snitch? Man, I don't know. I don't know.
I just tried to cope and process. I was like, well, let me go swimming. Maybe that'll get my mind off things. And I try to function. But when I'm out there, it's hard. Sometimes I just want to break down and cry, but I'm like, oh, if someone drives by and sees me, I have to act happy. And then people come up and they ask for photos, and I'm like, hey, hi. And I did go to that free event, but in the back of my mind, it was like, oh, please do not run into someone. And it'd be a whole thing, and I couldn't even enjoy myself the whole time because that was in the back of my mind, and I was suffering. And I was like, you can't cry because, first of all, you have makeup on. Second of all, I already knew people was going to be, if people don't ask for photos, it's typically because people are secretly filming me. And I didn't want someone to see me just sobbing and then that be a whole thing on the internet. I just have to act happy even though I'm not. And the only reason, and I would never harm myself, but the only reason why I'm just keep going is because I'm all that my mom has. And after she goes, I've already made that decision. And I know that she's worried, that she says, I worry that if I leave, something happens to me, that you're gonna go. But this world is cruel, it's hateful, it's evil, and I try to be a good.
So I don't know if y'all caught that, but she stated this, if her mom goes, she's already made the decision to go. And she said that, I think, like a week or two ago, and I called it. I was like, is this some form of S-baiting? Because it sounds like you're saying that you'll delete yourself from the server. And here she is confirming that as well. So now we have SA accusations and S-bait. Okay. Like I said at the beginning, guys, this was a displeasure to listen to, and I'm sorry that I'm not. I can't find the fun in this, so I'm not trying to. But let's just continue because it gets worse. as we go.
In person, and I try to share all of these things that are going on. And sometimes I just want to post happy stuff, but I feel like it's my responsibility. If I stop sharing something that's important, that I hate for it, and it's too much of processing and seeing that and having to desensitize myself to it and be like, this shouldn't be a normal. This shouldn't be a new normal. How do you process that? And so, but that's basically what I came on here to talk about. So, there's not really much I can do. Well, there is, but no, that's not the case. I was actually SA'd. Let's not do that. I don't lie on someone like that. Please do not make up information. You was not there, so you don't know. And there's cameras, so let's not.
And there's cameras. So she's implying that it was recorded.
That has nothing to do with anything. It's not because nobody is talking to me. That would be the stupidest thing to ever do. I could care less if no one's talking to me. Leslie stopped talking to me. Did I lie on her? No, I didn't. There's a lot of friends that stopped talking to me. Did I lie on them? No, I didn't. We gotta stop victim shaming people. We gotta stop telling people things. This is why people don't come out and say anything, because then people start victim shaming and saying, oh, well, that really never happened. I had to talk with people about this. I had to have a conversation with my therapist. This literally is so crazy.
And again, this is why these are more reasons I don't believe whatever she's trying to say was SA. I don't believe it was SA. Because if you talk to people about it and you talk to your supposed therapist, which is probably really just a counselor at the shelter, I'm pretty sure the shelter or a therapist would have to report that. There's no way they're going to just let that slide. Now, why do I say Tophia is going to let this slide and those people are letting it slide? Oh, just keep watching.
I have to process this. I have to go through this. It's traumatizing enough as it is that I still have to process the loss of my brother that I watched get murdered. There are so many things that has happened to me that I haven't been able to process anything. It's one thing after another, and I don't know how to handle it. And last year I didn't know how to handle it except to try to take my life, because that's the only thing I knew that my brain was telling me. And I would never harm myself, but it's the process of having to deal with things, because there's always something. And this year it was going great, and then it went bad, and then it was going great, and then I thought, wow, things were really, I really don't want to be put on medications, guys. I
You need
know
it.
that medications sometimes help, but there are a lot of side effects to those medications, and I really want to be careful when taking something. For me, it's just, the world is a cruel place, and things people have said hasn't really helped, and my only thought process is to not exist at all. But like I said, I'm not gonna harm myself. I'm just slowly trying to process, and I have major depression, so I'm trying to deal with it as best as I can and manage it. And the only way to really manage it is with medication, right? And my mom, I'm the only person she has, and she's already expressed, don't hurt yourself, or she's worried because of this situation I've had to talk to her about, and then tell her, no, mom, I'm not going to harm myself. I did in the past try to, and it's just something.
No, you didn't. You tried to manipulate the very person that you're accusing of SA now. Fuck out of here.
That I'm just trying to process. And when everyone wants to see you fall, whenever they're wishing on your downfall, that's horrible. And I'm trying to hold myself with grace. I'm trying to walk. I don't put people's names out there. I'm not trying to attack anyone, hurt anyone, harm anyone, be malicious.
again, why are you worried about attacking and name dropping your supposed assailant? Oh, it's because it's Tophiachu. Like this is ridiculous, man. This is really, I was like grossed out listening to this. I'm sure y'all are probably somewhat cringing as well throughout this whole thing, but dude, this was a hard listen, man. It really was.
Malicious towards anyone, and it's hard to really not, because I got really angry and I did want to say some things, but then I just have to write it down in my journal, which is what I've been doing, is journaling, and just write my thoughts out, and before I say something that I will regret. And it was that and it wasn't even just that, it was the process of, oh, even though I didn't do anything, would this person forgive me? And I did tell myself that I wish I went before them. So if something happened to them, because we're all gonna die, we don't live forever. And I know that they went mad at me and they didn't forgive me, that I couldn't live myself. And I know when someone does something so horrible, you shouldn't be kind to them. But I still want to be kind, even though I was hurt. And it's...
She wants to be kind to the person that supposedly essayed her. Like, are y'all linking this together, man? I feel like she is throwing out accusations to try and make Tophiachu look like some type of monster, when that's never been the case this entire time. Because Tophia has been breaking down and being sad about her since January, half a year. So this is just like the correlations and these things. It's, I don't know, man. I don't even know how to honestly feel about it, besides I'm just disappointed. It's the best way I can even put it.
It's hard because people are like, oh, and I don't think it's jokes when someone's like, someone turned me evil because of how they treated me. And I said I wanted to be evil and say things, but to do that, it's just not in me. And I have to sit here and be like, I forgive you, even though it's eating me up inside. And I'm trying to take my health problems seriously, and I don't want to end up like that girl in the hospital because I was stressing out too much and had a stroke. Constant headaches could be a sign of a stroke. And I'm trying to manage my health problems, but I didn't want to go to the hospital because I was worried if someone saw me, they would take pictures and then they would say, look, she's at the hospital for attention, because now she posted some things online, and anytime something happens, she goes to the hospital for attention. But
that is the way it seems. I mean, you're not wrong.
I was really struggling, and for 2 days I just slept and I cried and I tried to process, and I kept asking myself, why me? And I didn't know. I don't really know how to function. I don't really know. I don't, like, I try. The things that I'm learning in therapy to try to help change my thinking and stuff doesn't really work, because then I go back, I see places and then I start crying because
it doesn't work, because your counselor, whatever your counselor is telling you, you're not applying any of it, obviously, because no therapist in their right mind would see your digital footprint and see the harassment that you supposedly get, the, supposed death threats, all of this stuff, how people have literally been sent to your apartment, your motel, and they wouldn't tell you to get offline. No therapist worth their salt would know that you are actively in a homeless shelter with no job, no prospects, making less than $100 a month from your supposed job, and not tell you to go work an actual job. So no, you do not apply anything that these people are telling you. Why? Because you're fucking hard-headed. You are stubborn. You do not want to do anything anyone else's way except your way, no matter how much it doesn't work.
It reminds me of a time when I wasn't hurting, and I was happy. And then I remember that I don't have anybody, that I'm gonna be alone when my mom passed away, and having to talk to people about it was hard and trying to process. And I get it. Some people did try to help me, and they did give me some advice that I didn't really take because I thought, oh, it'll change, things will get better. And I wanted to believe things were gonna be good, but it wasn't. And even so, I just want to be that person that's like, and when I share something, I'm afraid, oh, it's going to come back on me, because people are going to think, and especially online, people are going to think, oh, I'm posting about them, but I'm not. And I just want to share something, and it's more so about kind of supporting someone, because when people make content, it's for support. It doesn't, and yes, some things I do share, not everything. It's really about how I was feeling. And when I was sharing the essay stuff, I was essayed in the past. I was actually essayed twice. Then having to process, did this really happen to you? Having to understand that, oh, were you essayed again? And just having that thought process of, oh, did you want it? Oh, did this? And just struggling with how to go about things.
Just
and the
weird.
thing is, like, you guys don't know how serious the situations that I'm going through are. And it would have made things worse. And I get it. Some people might be mad at my decision, but I'm more so afraid. It's just things I can't even talk about. And it's not like I'm trying to be tough, but for me, it's hard at night. I'll just think about something and I'll just start crying. And when you walk around and it has nothing, everyone acts happy, everyone acts like, and it's like, how can, and they don't know what I'm going through, but sometimes I feel like, how are people laughing and joking? I'm struggling. I'm trying to process. I'm trying to heal. I'm trying to deal with everything and trying to manage. And it's not about whether someone's watching or not. I would hope not. I don't know what someone is going through either, but for me, my thought process with my major depression, it was not good because I'm unmedicated. So for me, how could these people laugh? How the world was turning, if that made sense. The world continues to turn. Everyone lives their life, but I'm the one that's struggling. And I know everyone's going through something. I'm not saying no one goes through anything, but I didn't know how to handle my emotions. And I just cried to myself. And all day today, I was just crying. I was just like, is this really a good thing to do? Is this the right decision to make, is to go online and talk about this? But I'm like,
No,
if I
it
don't
wasn't.
say anything, it's just going to continue to eat me up. My emotions are going to continue to... I had already talked about it with other people, and I was still beating myself up about it. I didn't watch her tape. I didn't watch anything. Space Kitten sent it to me after I didn't even ask. Space Kitten sent it to me unsolicited, by the way, and I didn't even see her tape. Space Kitten's the one that made the statement, by the way, not me. I never victim shamed Angie. I don't know how many times I have to say that. Space Kitten.
But you have victim shamed plenty of people. So I'm not sure. Maybe she did, maybe she didn't. I wouldn't be surprised knowing Tophia, but you have victim shamed other people.
Had Angie's tape as her profile picture. She's the one who had that as her profile picture on Discord, which I have screenshotted proof of Space Kitten literally doing that on Discord. Space Kitten sent it to me, and I literally told Space Kitten, I do not want to see that. That is my sister-in-law. Hello, I did say that on live. I said, I do not want to see that because that is my sister-in-law. And Space Kitten sent it to me. Instead of coming at me, why don't you come at Space Kitten about why she had that? And I literally even said, I don't want to see that. Don't send it to me. Just like people sent me Leslie's OF stuff, and I said, don't send that to me. I had to just outright delete it. She literally put that as her profile picture on Discord. I have screenshots of this stuff. I don't know why we keep defending people. She was the one who was literally telling me things about my brother's ex because
I don't know why we keep defending people. Keep that statement in mind for later.
she did something to her and she snapped. She got mad. Finally, she was sitting on all of this stuff for who knows how long and still being friends with her. And then finally comes out because they're not friends anymore, for whatever the case may be. I don't even know. I can't even remember the whole situation of what happened, but basically she snapped and decided that she was gonna spill everything about Angie because they were no longer friends. And to me, I was thinking, why now? You had all of this stuff and you were playing it off as if I was lying. I wasn't telling the truth. And
Well, you're a compulsive liar. So there's that.
people have to see who people really are for themselves. And I was like, you finally saw what I've been trying to tell you. Well, it's out there. So that's not what I'm crying about. So that's fabricated photos. You can't open two apps on once on iPhone. You think people was born yesterday. Yes, it is, Sonny. You literally think that people are not born yesterday. I didn't say that. I just literally explained what I said. Space Kitten said that. I didn't say that. I literally said Space Kitten said, and then I said what Space Kitten said. That never, ever did I say me. I was saying that. And I literally preferenced that Space Kitten said that. How many times do I have to say something? I shouldn't have to keep telling people. People gets tired and literally sits here and then says, oh, you keep repeating yourself. Well, I have to repeat myself. Nobody, because if I don't repeat myself, then people say, oh, you said it. I'm tired. Yes, because I was talking about when Space Kitten said it. Hello. That's why I said it on live. Use your common sense. I said it because I literally said Space Kitten said it. Anyone could remove where I said Space Kitten said it out of the video and then just keep that part. That's why they don't have full clips of the lives and they only have 15 seconds. Use your common sense. I could take anything I want from anyone and clip it to make it look like they said something they didn't say. There was someone that literally made a video making it seem like they defended James Charles to see if people would watch to the end. And I'm pretty sure people didn't watch to the end. And that's basically what people do. They like to run with things. I don't care what people think about my situation. I don't care what people think about what I'm going through. I know what I'm experiencing. I know what I'm going through. I know what I have to deal with, the trauma that I have to face every single day because there is always something that I have to deal with or go through because I can't process the last thing because there's always something. And I always feel like I'm destined, that I always have to be like, well, something's going to happen. And that's my thought process. In the back of my mind, there's that glimmer of happiness. And I'm like, oh, it's going to be ripped away. People are not paying to get me a house because I'm not making another GoFundMe. I didn't want people to pay to get me a house. I wanted people to help me get a safe space because I didn't have one. And I also wanted people to help bury my brother because I'm having a difficult time. But since nobody really cares, then why does it bother you that much? You could just block me if you don't like what I'm doing. If I'm asking for something and I'm saying, hey, I need money for a house or this and that, then I don't understand why people have such a big issue with it if I was using the money for something else.
Tophia, do you just hear yourself? Did y'all catch that? Okay, let's back it up. Let's back it up. We're going to go back about 15 seconds. We're going to re-listen to what the hell she just said, because this is literally the definition of scamming.
You could just block me if you don't like what I'm doing. If I'm asking for something and I'm saying, hey, I need money for a house or this and that, then I don't understand why people have such a big issue with it if I was using the money for something else.
If I'm asking for money for a house, I don't understand why people would have such a big issue with me using it on something else. Are you fucking serious? Like, Tophia. That'll probably be like my one laugh probably throughout this entire video. Tophia, that is scamming. That's literally scamming, especially under the pretenses of having a whole donation GoFundMe set up for said thing and then using the money for something else. That is the definition of scamming, Tophia. That is why no one wants to support you or give you money. Oh my goodness, just stupid.
You try to lie and say I scammed people, which I didn't.
You literally just said, what you just said proves that you was going to scam people. And you have scammed people in the past, Tophia. I remember the initial GoFundMe, the raffle that you were supposed to, I believe she was supposed to get like a certain amount of money, and she was going to give one person some of her merch from her little shop or whatever, the Mountain Dew shit. And she didn't hit the goal. She was supposed to refund everybody if she didn't hit the goal. And guess what? No one got a fucking refund. So this isn't the first time you've pulled this shit, Tophia.
My brother didn't get buried. Anytime I go through something, I just can't talk about it because, people love to talk down on that. And it's so crazy. And who cares about my birthday? I have money for my birthday. Not a lot of money, but I do because of some things that I did.
Grifting. And the some things that you did was probably donating plasma.
And I earned money. But to be honest, me talking about being sexually assaulted has nothing to do with money. What does that got to do with money? Why does it every time something happens to me, you always resort to it being about money? My birthday is coming up. But did I put a PayPal link up? Yes, it's in my Beacons link. But did I put it up while I was sharing my essay story? No.
But you just mentioned it, though. You made sure that you mentioned it and told people where it is just now. Really, Tophia? I guess.
I came on here because it was eating me. It's bothering me. I'm having a lot of health problems, and I'm trying to manage it before something really happens to me. And my mom doesn't have me, but it's hard because I'm really suffering and trying not to freak out. And then having to hold that inside to protect someone's image.
Why are you trying to protect someone's image if you believe you were SA'd? You share all this shit about how people need to spend more time in jail, how people have been acquitted for SA and only did a couple days in jail, but you don't even want to name drop this person and you're trying to protect their image. Ridiculous.
I don't go on here and talk about people that I really care about or name drop them or bash them, even if they did very horrible things.
Oh yeah. You don't name drop them or bash them. You just accuse them of SA. Yeah, that's totally not worse, right? Right.
To me. And I still try to hold myself with grace to be like, you're doing the right thing, even though I know it is not the right thing. I don't want to have to go through constant whatever it is. It's a lot. I'm trying to get a place to live and I can't go through something and then a whole bunch of things on top of that. Nobody understands. Nobody gets it. It's, to be honest, I just recently found out about myself and I can't even talk about it because it's a reminder that who I am is wrong and that I'm going to hell for that.
Tophia, you weren't even religious. You're not religious. You've never been religious. And just because the people at the shelter are telling you that, why do you choose to believe it? You didn't believe about anything about religion prior to being in this shelter. So you shouldn't care. Just saying.
And I get told this constantly. And I do want to be proud. I do want to be open. But it's just not right in the situations that I'm in. And so I just stay quiet about it. And I'm like, just once you get your place, you'll be okay.
And that's also a lie. That's another lie because Tophia has been posting a bunch of Pride Month things on her story on Instagram and TikTok. So, and you know that the people at the shelter are watching your social media. So this is another lie. If you are really so worried about what they think and that putting you in a bad situation where you could possibly get kicked out, you wouldn't be posting all this shit. Just saying.
But I don't know. I'm just going to slip back into my old self and just sleep all day because
You have always been your old self, and that is probably all you ever do is sleep all day or sit around watching TV all day. And then occasionally you take your ass outside to do your live stream for an hour or two. But sure, please try and convince us harder that you work so hard, Tophia. Okay.
All I know. I just tell myself, one day you'll sleep forever and you won't have to worry anymore. And it's hard. My major depression doesn't help that. And I know everyone's going through something, but the reason why I say my major depression is because of those thoughts. Major depression is not one of those things that you're like, oh, just think happy and you'll be happy. That's just not how it is. When I walk out the doors, I'm reminded I'm trying to process and deal with as much as I can, but I wake up and it's just something. And then even being open enough to say something, I worry, what am I going to wake up to? What is scary? It's not even, it took a lot. It was a lot weighing on me for like weeks. It's already been like 3 weeks and I still had the process. I'm trying. When someone says work for it, I'm not sitting here asking for money or saying handouts. Yes, I did make a GoFundMe to ask people to help me to get a house. Is it up? No, it got falsely reported. At this point, forget the GoFundMe, forget everything.
Again, what do you mean it got falsely reported, Tophia? You said, your own words, that Ryan disappeared. No one could get a hold of him. And if you're talking about the last GoFundMe, as far as I could tell, it didn't get just taken down. I wouldn't be surprised. You saw that you only got $5 after a few days and you just closed it because you were trying to grift again. You keep doing the same grift, and everyone called you out for making a GoFundMe a couple weeks after the anniversary of your brother's passing, and you didn't put that the incident happened the year before. It was another grift to try to make it seem like this just happened. You're just a slimy, vile liar, man. And it's sickening.
Everything. I cannot go to work and function when I'm
Of course
having
not.
to deal with the trauma of something that just happened to me.
Of
And
course.
then I had to go to work and act like I'm okay because someone says, you know what? I'm a great functioning depressed person. I have major depression and PTSD and I function just fine at work. So I'm supposed to act happy at work. But if something happens, either, and I'm not going to snap at anyone or be rude, I break down or cry or I have a mental breakdown or something happens, I can't. And I have to hold it in until I leave work. That is also not good. I'm an unmedicated functioning major depressed person and
Well, apparently you're not functioning if you can't do any of the things that an adult would have to do that is living with the supposed diagnosis. If you really do have these diagnoses and they've suggested medication, you need to get on medication. But we all know, even if Tophia was medicated, she still wouldn't work. So I don't even know why she's even bringing that up, but okay.
I know there's people that have that. But when people compares themselves to me and says that they can work and they can function, I'm like, good for you. And then it makes me feel even worse because I can't even function. I cry and people think I'm too emotional, so then I can't cry. I gotta hold everything in and not say, even though I do want to speak up and say something. I'm a very opinionated person.
We know.
I defend myself a lot. I speak up and defend myself, and I don't want to have to deal with the side effects. There's a lot of things. And right now, I already get therapy. Why are you suggesting therapy when I said I talked to my therapist
Counseling.
already? Even talking to my therapist, because I couldn't talk to my therapist. It was 2 weeks I hadn't been able to see my therapist. I finally talked to them where I briefly mentioned it. But to be honest, I didn't want to talk about the situation because every time I talk about the situation, I hurt. And then I dwell on it. And then it knocks me down for a couple of days and I had to get up and function because I can't be depressed for a couple of days, sleeping all day. Nobody knows what someone is going through. And then when people ask me what's wrong, when people are genuinely asking me, are you okay? And I can't say anything because then people go on the internet, and I don't name drop people, by the way, but then people will run to the internet with messages and say, look, this is what she told me. And it's having a hard time trusting anybody. My trust is broken. I can't.
Why would you be trusting any random people online with your personal matters is beyond me at this point, but okay.
Trust anyone anymore. They tell you things, they lie to your face, they try to befriend you. When someone says, oh, I live in Albuquerque, I want to be your friend, and I'm just the kind person, and be like, I'm just
You're
nice,
not.
but I'm not trying, I don't want to be friends with anyone. I don't trust anybody anymore. I can't even, people says, well, you, like, And they're all like, well, you get what you deserve, even though I'm just trying to function. I'm trying to be a normal person, but when people keeps doing things like harassing me and all this stuff, and it's
You're trying to be a normal person by not doing any of the things that a normal person does. Because yes, Tophia, all normal people, they rely on a supposed job that probably doesn't even earn them $25 a week. All normal people, when they become homeless, they don't actively work to get themselves out of the situation. They just revel in it and lounge around all day. But they promise that they're working on their housing, even though it's literally just making an application and turning in some paperwork, which should have been turned in well over a year ago. Yeah, totally normal. So normal.
saying, oh, well, maybe you should get offline. But people in real life that was people I really cared about being shitty in multiple situations. And it wasn't even just online stuff. It's just like, how do you deal with that? And even me being kind when I shouldn't have been. And people being like, you should be rude. I can't be that person. I just can't.
You are that person, but go ahead.
Well, it's out there, so I can't take this back. And to be honest with you, I can't really share everything I'm not comfortable with. And maybe eventually in time, I'll be able to share everything. But no one knows. And I understand everyone struggles, but when you're having things thrown at you, it's like being in a game of dodgeball and all these balls are flying at you and you can't dodge any of them and you're getting hit by every single one and you don't have time to process and you're still on the floor and all these balls are hitting you. That's just what it is. I tried to process the death of my brother, and then when something happens to me, I was like, oh, I wish he was here because I wouldn't be getting hurt. If he was here, this wouldn't be happening. I'm trying to process. I'm trying to manage. I'm trying to work on getting my mom a place and trying to survive because I'm all she has. And if something happens, I'm trying to be open and honest with my mom, but I don't want to go, here we go again. Here's this situation and here's how I'm feeling. I can't move anywhere. My mom doesn't want to move anywhere. She won't leave Albuquerque. And the only way I could move somewhere and really have a change in place is if I move. And that would have to be when my mom is not here anymore, when I don't have that responsibility. As of right now, I can't just leave my mom. My mom doesn't want to go anywhere, or else I would have left a long time ago. I know I gotta live for myself, but my mom is already depressed that we're separated. And I could do all the things of getting her a place and keeping it paid up. And I know I gotta live for myself, but I cannot just separate myself from my mom. I'm having a difficult time and...
Okay, well, what about that other part you just said? What about getting the place for you and your mom? Like, what are you doing to accomplish that? Oh, that's right. Not a damn thing.
That would literally cause serious health problems. I cannot just abandon my mom when she needs me. She's already struggling enough as it is that we're not together. And my birthday's coming up, and I know that's probably going to affect her because she can't be with me for my birthday. I'm just trying to manage
Tophia, you weren't going to see your mom on your birthday no matter what. So just don't even, let's not do this, okay?
everything. And it's just like, my brain is just telling me, my brain just says, my thought process is just like, it's better to just go away forever. I don't know. I'm not, everyone says you're strong, you made it this far, and I'm trying to believe that I'm strong and that I made it this far because there were a lot of things that are like, you're strong for everything you went through, but I'm trying to be strong. But then if I give up, people are going to say that I was selfish. I'm not going to harm myself. But I had that longing because I went to the hospital and I did tell them, they were like, you have the longing of wanting to be with your brother. I cried to someone and I said, I really wish God would have took me. Please take me.
Sure.
I can't deal with hurt. I'm constantly being hurt and no one cares everything I went through. And even despite what someone goes through, I would not hurt them like that. So, well, you know what I mean? I do have to say stuff like that because I don't need people assuming that I'm trying to harm myself and then I end up in a mental institution. But that's how my brain feels. That's what my brain tells me. You can have thoughts like that and not act on them. Hello, that's not called baiting. Use your common sense. People do that all the time. I'm not baiting. I'm just saying that's
You are,
what my
though.
brain feels. That's what my brain is telling me. I have major depression. I can't just turn that off. You don't suddenly miraculously heal and feel like you have a purpose in life. I'm trying to figure things out for myself, and it's hard. And when people bash at you, it is really hard, especially saying like, oh, well then stop saying stuff like that. People can have those thoughts and not act on them.
Yeah, you're right, Tophia, but why do you feel the need to keep sharing it with the internet? We're not your friends. We don't need to know. Like you said, if you're trying to work on these things, you can keep it to yourself, your counselor, and the people at the shelter that are there to help you. Why do you feel the need to tell us and keep S-baiting over and over and over? I was manically depressed at one point years ago. I did not run around telling all of my friends that I want to off myself. I internalized it and dealt with it day by day until I worked my way out of that funk. So you just want the attention. You want attention, sympathy, pity donations, and for everyone to view you as a victim. But we don't.
I've had dreams. I wake up. Sometimes I keep myself up till 1 a.m. because I'm trying to process everything. My brain is, I'm carrying guilt. I am carrying a lot of guilt because in certain situations, I told myself, well, maybe I should have not said anything at all. Maybe I should have done this. Maybe the outcome would have been different, but it would have never been different. There are so many things that I carry. I carry this guilt, and I'm trying to forgive myself, but then I'm like, if they can't forgive me, then I can't forgive myself. And just knowing that if someone passes away and they're angry with me, I couldn't live with myself. And I try to process and I try to heal from that, and it hurts because my depression gets to me when things like this happen. So I have been talking to people, but it's like, are you okay? And I tell them, yeah, I'm doing good, even though I'm really not doing good. I'm hurting, and I don't want to tell them, oh, I'm hurting every day. They don't need to be hearing that. So I'm like, oh, I'm good. I gotta lie to people. I'm good, even though that's not true. Just because my dad has mental illness does not mean I don't care about him anymore.
You
My
don't.
thing, to be honest with you, and I know I have my dad. I don't have my dad. Let's be honest. He's in the street. He's on substances. His mental illness is bad. He doesn't want to get the help. They said he has to help himself. We've tried. Me and my mom have tried to help him with his medication, whether despite people say, and you're only bringing it up so people could say that I lowered his dosage.
You did, by your own admission. And I don't believe you or Mama Chu care about Papa Chu at all. Y'all care about his check. That's all y'all care about.
You don't care about someone with mental illness. You don't know what I've struggled with since I was a baby. You don't know the things that my mom did, because if it wasn't for my mom, he would have not been diagnosed with bipolar. He would have been undiagnosed, and he would have never knew what was wrong with him. When his mom sat there and said he didn't have bipolar when he did, and that she believed he was faking it, my mom stood behind him and made sure that he was well. There's only so much I can do. I have to take care of myself and self-care and take care of my mental, because right now, if I get sick and end up in the hospital, my mom is not going to have anyone. I'm trying to calm myself down. I can't take on all these problems.
You're trying to calm yourself down, and you think that live streaming to an audience that despises you is the best way to do that. Sure.
I've tried. We went out there when my brother was alive. We were driving around trying to find him. We got pulled over, and the car obviously is not registered. He did let us go, thankfully, but we had to go back to our parking spot and sleep. But my brother was like, wow, that cuts that short. We went driving to look for him, because I showed him a video where someone took a picture of him, or took a video of him dancing, and he said, I know where that's at. And we went there and he wasn't there. And we tried to make an effort to find him so we could at least get him help. but he got pulled over and we couldn't risk the car getting towed. That's why I paid for car insurance, excuse me. I paid for the car insurance because at least that prevented the car from being towed. My brother was door dashing to try to fix the part in the car so he can register the car, but it was difficult. And I did help put towards a part, but then it was the wrong part. And then he needed the money
Wow.
for gas, and then we were back in the issue again. My money that I was making online was going towards gas for the car to fix the car when it needed to be fixed. I was literally helping out.
It's almost like you should have just went and got a damn job. Because, you know, instead of only having, I don't know, $300-400 a month to help out and keep your family afloat, you know, having $2,000-2,500 a month, you know, probably would have helped out quite a bit. Could have possibly got y'all back on y'all's feet. Could have got y'all out of the damn car before that incident happened. Just saying.
So our money was going into the car. And to be honest with you, we drove around. We tried. Whenever we would dash, there was a guy, I kid you not, we were parked somewhere. And I got excited because I thought it was my dad. And that I was like, we finally found him, but it wasn't. And it was just some homeless guy that was sleeping on the concrete. And then just being so down. I'm not superwoman. I'm not a superhero. I can't take on all these tasks and try to save everyone. I just
Of
can't do
course.
it. And I've tried for so long, and no one knows how hard it is to keep someone on their medication that doesn't want to be on their medication, especially when it comes to someone that has bipolar schizophrenia. That is the worst kind of bipolar anyone can have. It is very hard to deal with someone like that. And I tried to manage. I tried everything I could. And it's so hard because people expect me to have 8 arms. I'm an octopus and I'm supposed to do all of this. And it's not that
Do all of what, Tophia? You don't do anything. You literally do nothing. You're homeless. You're jobless. You don't make content. You don't do anything. You are chilling all day.
I cut out my dad completely. At this point, there's nothing more I could do. They already said with housing that they are only going to help me and my mom get a place. We literally get a place with him and we bring him back into a place. We're just going to get evicted. And I'm not going to go through that cycle again. There's only so much you can do for someone before they have to do it for themselves. And sometimes I can't take on and hold that guilt of maybe I should be doing more. I've done all I can. We've contacted the
Wow.
VA. We've literally done everything we could. It's just too much.
Done everything except get a job. Okay.
I can't do any more than what I can. I'm already trying to hold my mental together. I'm already trying to keep myself sane and not freak out. But now, look, I do not feel good at all. I've been crying all day. I've been processing why someone would do this to me. Someone that really claimed they cared about me do this. Why are people just, why me?
Again, more confirmation that she is alleging that Tophiachu essayed her. Someone that claimed they really cared about me. Why would they do this to me? It's ridiculous, man.
I'm just, maybe I told myself, maybe I'll never have that happiness. That maybe I'm just better off dead. And that's what my brain tells myself. And I would not harm myself. And this is not S-baiting. This is just how my brain is with depression. I try to drown myself because, yes, I know Bob Saget is a horrible person, but I've been watching Full House because that's my comfort show. I'm trying to go back and watch things that make me feel nostalgic. I watched the Rugrats movie, and I'm just trying to comfort myself, but it's not working. And I have a void, and it's not getting filled. I wanted to go out
Tophia, no one wants to fill your hole.
and enjoy my birthday and say, hey, does someone want to go on a date? Not a date like that, but you go out and enjoy myself and have a good time and feel like, oh, but then I get knocked back because it's just like, it sucks. And I'm pushing myself to go out and enjoy my birthday, even though I tell myself I don't deserve to enjoy my birthday. My mom's not with me. I would like her to be with me for my birthday, but it's hard. It's not money. It's not saying things because of money. I'm hurting. I have to process that I was assaulted sexually. How do I deal with that? It happens to me, and it's like the third time, and then it sucks. No one knows just what I had to deal with because I feel worthless. I feel unworthy. I feel unloved. I feel like I let things happen because I was just holding on to the fact that in my brain I was telling myself that I would never find anyone who cared that much, even though it may have not been true. Then I had the internet. It says, oh, you don't know what you're experiencing.
Girl, Tophia, y'all weren't dating. You like, because, and this is what I be talking about. Like, Tophia, she doesn't understand the difference between platonic and romantic relationships, because as far as we know, Tophiachu said, like, no, it's not like that. We're just sisters in Christ. It seems like they were just friends. Now, did something happen? A little something sneaky? We don't know. Potentially. But we can't rely on Tophia to be the narrator, because she doesn't understand social interactions like a regular person.
You're lying. Things aren't happening. You'll never find anyone. And that just weighed on, because how do I explain everything without explaining everything? Because I was not ready to share something. I'm trying to process, and I just hung on to things and I allowed things to happen because I was being blinded by what I was being told. And I have a tendency I'm an idiot for believing that stuff, for believing what a lot of people said. Because in that moment, you feel loved, you feel like you mattered. And I was just blinded. When someone says something to me online, right? And I'm not here to, and I don't want to come online and bash Miguel, but when people say
Oh my
things like,
goodness,
oh, I
man.
love you, or I care about you, because of things that have happened to me, it's hard for me to even trust anyone, especially when I don't feel that way about someone. And then I feel bad, oh, maybe I should, and I shouldn't accept, and it's not accepting, I shouldn't just settle because I'm like, oh, I'll never find someone, so maybe I'm missing out on my chance, because if I don't take this, then I ain't gonna have nobody. And that's what my brain tells me, is I'm gonna die alone. And me expressing my feelings, it hurts when you on the other end of that, there's someone who has their back turned, who doesn't care, who is cold-hearted, who could care less if you're crying, if you're hurting, if you're struggling, if you have to pick up the pieces of the damage that they did to you. And it's the amount of people that
And with all that being said, it's interesting that now that Tophiachu has cut Tophia off and, is going on about their life, I'm sure. Now, you see, earlier she said Tophiachu was, great and caring. They cared about me so much. And then they just did a 180. Word. I wonder why, Tophia. I wonder what made them change up their energy so drastically when it comes to you. I don't know.
lied recently to my face. You looked me in my face and you lied to me, and I believed you. It's hard to trust people when they look you in the face and they lie to you. And I've been truthful.
Like you do to us virtually every day when you do live stream on cam. Okay.
I've been honest to every person, and I've been
Bullshit.
nice and kind. And
You
then to
have not.
have people look me in the face and lie directly to my face. And I had to compose myself to walk with my head held high. It's so hard to even trust anyone when I get lied to. It's crazy. My heart is empty. I do have a hole in my heart. It is hurting. I did say that 2 days ago because I am hurting.
Lord.
And I can't even talk about being hurt, because if I talk about it, then it becomes this whole thing that gets turned into drama when I was not trying to cause drama. It's all right for other people to be hurt, but it's not okay for me to talk about me being hurt. I can't even talk about hurting because then I get attacked for even talking about it. That's crazy to me that I have to literally sit here and act as if I'm not hurting. And then, well, life goes on. And I could care less. I don't care if people feel sorry for me, sympathy. This was not any of that. I'm so sick and tired of when I turn around, I see someone living their life as if I'm not screwed up in the head, if I'm not messed up in the head. And this is several situations of people literally, they didn't mess with me mentally. They didn't mess with me physically. And then having to process the essay and then having to deal with that. And then lying to someone's face and then finding out they lied about other stuff. And then trying to think, well, did this they were telling me about this situation, did they lie about that? And I'm an understanding person, but you don't have to make up stories about me. You don't have to make yourself seem more interesting than you are because I was this social media influencer. That's all I got
You're
seen
not.
as.
You're not a social media influencer. You're a lolcow. Let's get the category right.
Nobody saw me as equal. Whether they say they see people as equal or not, I was not seen as that. I was seen as a social media influencer. And how do you explain to someone like, hey, I really don't like this. I really don't.
Use your words. Like, what do you mean? You're outspoken about everything else, but you couldn't use your words? Okay, whatever.
Like some of the things that was happening. Oh, this is Tophiachu, the TikTok star. Whenever we would be in the presence of people, hey, this is Tophiachu, the TikTok star. And I couldn't just try to be like, hi, it's me. Because I didn't want to seem rude. Because at the time, I felt like if I said anything, people snap and they get mad. And then they attack me and then they come at me and then it becomes this whole thing and we're in an argument. And I'm not the one that's arguing. I'm just trying to fix the situation, but then I make it worse. I couldn't even express my feelings because if I mentioned how I was feeling, oh, it's not about how you feel, it's about how I feel. It's me, 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 me. It's about me. It's not about you. So I just had to hold it in and keep it to myself. I knew that wasn't going to be good. I knew that. But I couldn't express my feelings, and I'm not really good at expressing my boundaries either because sometimes I let people overstep those boundaries because I didn't want to hurt their feelings. I couldn't say something bothered me, and I did mention, I was like, oh, if I say something, then I know that you're going to snap, and then you miss. I had to be honest, but I was holding a lot of things in because I couldn't be completely honest, and I wasn't
Sure.
lying, but I couldn't be completely honest and say things that I really wanted to say because I know, oh, I don't want to say something wrong and hurt this person, or I don't want to say something and make this person uncomfortable. And I would, around certain people, I just didn't want to say things because I already felt like it was becoming too much. I did talk to someone about my problems, but then I felt like, oh, I'm always coming to them with this problem. And they're probably looking at me like, you're stupid. Then just leave it. Then just leave the whole friendship. Just leave that. Just leave the situation.
Oh. Now Tophia is the one that was doubting the friendship / situationship. Oh, it's Tophia who wanted to get away and get out. The girl, bye. Shut up.
And it was hard. I couldn't just leave the situation. I couldn't just walk away. It was so hard to do that because I was being blinded. And then I didn't want them to, which I know they wouldn't have, but for me, I always think like, oh, they're going to judge me and be like, oh, you're so stupid. Why did you go back? You're so stupid. And it wasn't even a relationship of dating. It's like, you're so stupid. Why did you go back to that friendship? You already knew it was going to happen in the first place, and you went back like an idiot. You know, and I tried to see the good in everyone. I tried to tell myself, no, you people just don't understand. Someone's just being misunderstood. It's just like when people
Look, she's literally painting herself as the victim even in their friendship. When we know that Tophia had a whole meltdown for like a week back in January over them not being cool anymore. Like, are you serious, Tophia? I can't, again, I don't believe anything that she is saying because we know from the past, this is all bullshit, man.
literally steps outside of the whole TikTok stuff and tries to understand me. And I'm like, I have people that cares about me. I have people that ask me if I'm okay because They're the people that are like, you're just misunderstood. And I wanted to be that person. Well, you don't know this person. They're just a misunderstood person. You don't know what this person is suffering or what they're going through in silence. They're just a misunderstood person. From your perspective, and what you're seeing from the outside is not really what it is. When I did explain things, yes, I was having problems, but I was like, you just don't know. For you, from an outsider looking in, it's just easy for someone to say, walk away. For me, it wasn't easy. This person is misunderstood. I just gotta fix this problem. I just gotta fix their problems. I just gotta help them. I just gotta handle the situation, even though it wasn't my situations to handle. Because then I want to be that person that someone could be like, hey, there are good people in the world. They didn't leave me. They didn't desert me. They didn't abandon me when I was at my lowest. Even though truly in my heart, they probably would have abandoned me at my lowest. It just sucks. You go above and beyond for people that probably wouldn't go above and beyond for you. And I'm not saying it's difficult. It wasn't just easy to be like, oh, I could walk away. And I struggled so hard to manage and try to see.
This is all cap, by the way. I mean, come on, guys. Like, what could Tophia realistically do for anybody? Just think about that question. If you can think of something she could realistically do to help somebody other than lending a fucking ear, drop it in the comments.
See the good in people, even though I was constantly getting hurt, even though my mental health was breaking, even though I was being like a used rag. And I try to tell myself, oh, because I don't want to go to the negative thoughts and think the worst, that, oh, they were just using me just to make themselves feel good in that moment because they had nobody. They only come back to me when they want to feel good, when they have nobody.
Tophia, that literally sounds like you. Tophiachu was doing all types of stuff for you. What the hell do you think you were doing for them? Other than, I guess, being a friend? Tophiachu was taking you to the gym, trying to help you, get your life on track, get you out of the house. She took you to the Hello Kitty cafe. And I'm sure there's a lot of other things, that we don't even know about. But she was the one with the car. I'm assuming she had some type of money to also put in the gas tank for said car. She was doing for you, not the other way around.
And they need someone in that moment to make them feel that void or whatever it was. And to people, especially online, and the whole situations that I was going in with and that I was dealing with in real life, they treat it like it's a game. And I'm like, I'm not trying to be all flashy and show off and be that person that's like, oh my God, even if some of these are trolls, literally being like, someone made a statement, oh my God, you have all these girls all after you. That's not something that I would be flexing or bragging about. For me personally, it's not about flaunting or being like, I have this person, I got this person. No. I'm not trying to play a game with anyone. I could care less if I have someone. It's not about flaunting someone or proving something. I don't know what people try to prove. You hurt someone.
Sure.
When people hurt someone in the process and leave this path of destruction, they could care less. It's a game to them. And it's just like, what are you trying to prove? That you could hurt someone and mess with them and not have some sort of conversation? I get it, but I'm not one of those people. I'm not going to say, you know what, I'm better than you because I have a better partner, a better person, No, I'm not out here trying to do all of that. I just want to go out and have fun. And my birthday is on Saturday. And it's not about the money. I just want to be able to function without being reminded, oh, now I'm traumatized and triggered. Oh,
right,
you wanted that.
Right.
Oh, there were certain things that you allowed. You're an idiot. You're stupid. I dwell on these things and I beat myself up and I'm having a hard time forgiving myself. And I got to process. And that's what I'm telling myself. And having to function through situations and not be so emotional because, oh, here she comes again. She's crying on live. That's just what I was dealing with. I don't know if the chat froze or not. I've been having constant headaches. I've talked with the doctors and they literally said it was because of my stress. So I'm trying to manage my health. I'm trying to manage all of that, like I said. I'm probably gonna, I don't know, I didn't even eat dinner. So no, I'm not okay. I've been struggling today and I jotted down my thoughts, and basically I came on here and I said I was SA'd, and people are victim shaming me, and that's okay if you don't believe me, but I've been having to process that, so I don't know how else. People will report it to the police, then it would be a worse situation. So I don't want to do that.
She doesn't even want to report it to the police because somehow it would become a worse situation. Again, this is coming from the person who has makes stories all the time of how people get off with light sentencing for similar accusations or allegations, but she doesn't even want to go to the police. Be fucking for real, man.
Already had a hard time processing it myself. I have a headache. Yes, I was sexually assaulted. I've been crying all day. I don't know what it was today. I was doing fine, and then I started crying, and then I couldn't stop crying. I would wipe my tears, and then I would just cry again. And then I don't know how to process. I talked to my mom. That was really hard to talk to my mom because I wasn't really being truthful. I told her, like, oh, nothing happened, but I didn't want her to worry because it's hard because her mind goes to, oh, you're going to harm yourself and I'm not going to have nobody. And I'm trying to be strong for my mom because we're all that we have. And I'm trying to process situations that happened for 3 weeks, and I'm trying to not slip back, but I have this major depression, and I've been trying to process, and I'm trying not to have dark thoughts, and I would not harm myself, but that doesn't go away. And just, it was one thing after another, and it was too much to handle, and I'm trying to handle it. So my birthday is literally on Saturday, and I really want to go out and enjoy myself because I had some plans of what I wanted to do. I have a cake that is being, I made my own cake for my birthday because I'm going to try to decorate it, and it's like.
And even that's a lie because earlier she said she had plans, but she has to go pick up the cake. Now she's saying that she has a cake. And like you see, like she's stumbling around the telling of the whole cake thing. She's a compulsive liar, man.
Like a special made cake, but it doesn't have decorations because I want to decorate it myself. But no, that has nothing to do with that. So you're just going to get blocked. I don't have the GoFundMe. It was under review and I don't want to make another one.
Thank God.
Yes, I have talked to my therapist about it. Money for a cake, but not for storage.
And she says she's talked to her therapist about it. She's talked to her therapist about this situation and no one is reporting it. Bullshit. Either the therapist thinks that this is so minor that it doesn't, whatever happened supposedly doesn't qualify as SA, so they're not reporting it, which means, like, again, she's just fucking lying. Because I feel like this entire live, she's essentially just been throwing dirt on Tophiachu's name. Now, 2 days after Tophiachu goes into the clink, where she cannot be confronted for saying these things. It's very fucking interesting.
I'm not even gonna explain anything to you. I don't have any money for a cake or for storage, but I have people that are nice enough because it's my birthday. I don't need to explain anything to you. And no one online gave me money. I do know I need to go to the police, but it'll make the situation worse, so I'm not gonna go to the police.
Again, if someone assaulted you, please, I implore you to go to the cops, file the report, get them off the streets so they cannot hurt anyone else. By Tophia saying that she's not going to report this, I throw virtually everything she is saying out the window. Because why, if she really was SA'd by Tophiachu, why are you trying to protect this person? You have everything you need to report this person so they can't do what so they supposedly did to you to anyone else, and you're choosing not to. So either you are a massive hypocrite or you're a fucking liar. But, you know, two things can be true at the same time.
I already have a hard time as it is dealing with other things, and I know, but to be honest, I don't know. It's a very dangerous, serious situation that I can't even talk about. When you're saying, oh, it's your birthday and the last thing should be about cake, I was not thinking about cake. Again, I said that I'm trying to enjoy my birthday, so I'm not down and depressed. I was not thinking about cake. I was not even thinking about what to do for my birthday because I didn't even want to celebrate my birthday. But why am I going to let people ruin my birthday? Why am I going to let someone make me so upset to the point where I don't celebrate my birthday? Why? I'm not going to let people ruin, while they're running around acting happy. I don't know if they are happy or not. When you guys do something and you hurt someone, truly hurt someone, and then you're running around like everything's okay, I'm not going to let someone bring me down. I'm trying to enjoy my birthday. I'm only 32 once. Yes, I shouldn't celebrate my birthday. I should be 6 feet under. That's how I feel. But I'm not going to harm myself. But again, I'm trying to change my negative thinking to a positive thinking. I'm trying to survive the best that I can. And when people say, oh, you're just baiting people, that's how my brain works. I'm not baiting people. That's just how I feel. I should have a right to enjoy my birthday and enjoy myself. I'm so sick and tired of people telling me that I'm not supposed to have feelings. I'm not supposed to be hurt. I'm supposed to hold everything in. I'm supposed to be strong. I'm supposed to, if something more horrific happened to me again, something else, I'm supposed to just accept that and say, well, you deserve it. That's how people are, and I shouldn't have to accept or deserve anything like that. Oh, well, you got SA'd. Accept it. That's how people act and make me feel. The 20% battery came up and my phone is gonna die, so I have to get off live and I have a headache and I just need to get ready for bed.
Yeah, wrap this shit up.
People said that I wasn't essayed, and then people are probably saying that I deserve it and whatever the case may be. And I'm not saying that I need to accept that. I'm saying that's just how people makes me feel. And I talked to my therapist, but I've talked to a lot of people and I'm still just struggling. So I don't know I'm trying to work so hard at managing my emotions, but it's not working and I'm crying. I'm not going to report it because it'll get worse. I already said there's.
How? How would it get worse? Just how?
Reasons why. And besides, you don't want me to report it because it happened. You want me to report it because you're saying if I don't report it, then it's not true. Can we stop with that narrative of people?
Yeah, I mean, I can't blame people for having that thought process because you're literally talking about someone that you closely know and have known for months doing something horrific to you, but you don't want to report that person to the police. And mind you, again, this is the advocate that is constantly posting stuff about people being SA'd on their stories and being angry that people aren't serving longer sentences for SA. But now when it happens to her, she's going to just let the perpetrator walk free. These two things do not go together, Tophia. So yes, I think you're full of shit.
There's a plethora of reasons why people don't report something. I can't explain it. The whole situation is a very dangerous situation. And to be honest.
And the situation is only dangerous because if Tophiachu finds out about this, if she gets released, and she finds out about all this, oh yeah, Tophia probably will be in danger. Because I haven't spoken on it, but Tophiachu has had multiple charges of assault with a deadly weapon. So Tophia she's playing with her life essentially, because Tophiachu might not take too kindly to these supposed allegations and accusations, and she might end up back in the clink for slapping Tophia upside the head. Well, we'll see what happens in the next few weeks, I guess.
Honest with you, I have been put in danger, and I can't even talk about it.
Sure.
That's why I can't say certain things, because online I'm not trying to escalate the situation to make it worse. That's why I have not said things about the whole situation. I can't even tell you half of the stuff that was said. It was, especially online with people making threats, that's...
You can't tell us what was said, but you can tell us that you were essayed. Okay, Tophia.
Online people making threats too, that it's a whole thing. On top of personal issues, on top of online issues, like, and this was stuff that, and a lot of the stuff was stuff that happened offline. And the thing that sets people who get offline, even I was offline and that happened. And I still would have been affected. But anyways, I'm going to go. Have a good day or night where you guys are. We'll see you guys later. I have a headache and I think I'm going to try to take some medicine. And I'm trying to calm down, but I'm freaking out because it's out there and now I'm worried of what's next to come. I don't know. Anyways, I'm going to try to focus.
Okay, whatever, Tophia. Goodbye. So yeah, there you have it, y'all. Like I said, this was a tough video to make, and just, yeah, man, I don't know. I would say my closing theory, based on everything that has been said throughout this video, is things did not go the way Tophia hoped with Tophiachu, obviously, and in some type of twisted retaliation, potentially, she's now claiming that Tophiachu essayed her, which is interesting that all of this comes out 2 days after Tophiachu was locked up on an old warrant and 2 days before her birthday. It is essentially the perfect grift, and Tophiachu, being locked up, cannot retaliate or speak on this situation whatsoever. You know, if they get released, you know, who knows? Maybe this will blow up into a whole new arc. But yeah, like I said from the beginning, based on everything that Tophia has said, the context that was laid out from her own words, I don't believe anything happened to her. I think things didn't go her way. She didn't get the relationship she wanted. The friendship has also seemingly been cut off after the Tophiachu came back around after the first time back in January. She came back around. Friendship still didn't work out. Cut Tophia off again. And now Tophia is having some type of weird post retaliation. You know, I don't know. I don't even know how to explain the thoughts I have, but that's all I got. I'm not going to say much more. Thank you guys for watching. Again, these are just my opinions. If you don't agree with me, I totally understand, but this is how I feel based on what was said. And, I'll stand 10 toes down on my theory. If Tophia does come out with evidence or actually files a police report and this comes out to all be true and she was actually essayed, I will recant all of my statements in this video and I'll take the video down. But until then, y'all be safe, be kind to each other, and I will see you all very soon.